Hi, my name's Sean Hayes, and I'm trying to get some money to start a federal government independent army in the state of Indiana. I'm seeking investors or a gift to get a federal government independent army started. I need up to $25 million or more to get it started. And if someone gave me a very big check, I would probably go to the Indianapolis, Indiana area to cash it. Whatever a very big check would be, $1 million more, $5 million more, because there's some gang criminals in the banks in Bedford, Indiana, German American Bank being one of them, and that are part of Mary Stanley's gang. There's probably bigger and better banks in the Indianapolis, Indiana area that have bigger payrolls and bigger payroll checks there. We're seeing FedEx there, big FedEx jet planes there. That could be one of the bigger businesses there in the Indianapolis, Indiana area. Bigger, better banks there. More money to cash a bigger check. I would go there to cash a bigger check. I would need to hire some lawyers to help me to start with to get a legal name for the federal government army, or for the federal government independent army. And that legal name will be the Independent Army. And I'll also need to hire some lawyers to help me get the two army banks started, either before New York City or after, and one for the federal government independent army's bank account or bank accounts, and one that would supply other banks with money and to set and control the interest rates. And to get two legal names on the new currency or new money, and one legal name would be on the top of the money, would be the independent country, and the other name would be the Federal Army Bank, would be the other name. And to print those new bills and put those into circulation at some time, and to set and control the interest rates whenever at 6 to 7% interest. And my idea, the first mission is to go to New York City and seize the Federal Reserve Bank in New York City, which is the biggest Federal Reserve Bank, biggest printing press here in this country, in the United States, and seize all the money in that bank, the Federal Reserve Bank in New York City, and haul that money back to the state of Indiana, and to expand an army base after that, to get expand the army base, to hire more army workers, to buy more military equipment after that, fighter jets, bomber jets, army tanks, etc., hire more workers. So I'm of the belief it could be, if there's trillions of dollars there, quadrillions of dollars, I'd like to spend, probably trillions of dollars expanding the army base to try to get 100,000 or more army workers here in the state of Indiana, and to pay those army workers with that money seized from there, put that money to the federal government army bank, the Independent Army's bank account. And the next mission would be go to Washington, D.C., where there's a bank down there. It could be called Morgan and Stanley Bank, which I believe those gang criminals own. Either Mary Stanley's gang or Obama's gang owns it. And to seize it, seize all the federal government accounts and all the federal government money in there. It was for the DOJ's account, which is no federal courts here. There's no FBI here. There's no CIA, Homeland Security, Secret Service here. There's no president or vice president here. There's no U.S. senators here. There's no military here. There's no U.S. military here. So I'm of the belief that so seize all those federal government accounts, all the money in there, all of that money back to the state of Indiana, and I believe the IRS tax offices will need to be seized at some time, and all the rest of the Federal Reserve banks and all the money in those, and to arrest some gang criminals, Barack Obama being one of them, and Mary Stanley, Mike Pence, and some other ones. And there's a lot of fake, where I'm at in the state of Indiana, there's all fake police officers here. There's no real police officers here. There's no real FBI agents wherever. There's no real federal court judges wherever. I don't believe the federal courts and the FBI has been shut down since about 2014. However long this country has been without a military. So I'm of the belief that Barack Obama's gang and Mary Stanley's gang bribed all the U.S. military workers to quit their jobs. On the FBI, I believe it's mostly Mary Stanley's gang that bribed most of the FBI agents to quit their jobs. She's a former federal magistrate judge for U.S. District Court in Charleston, West Virginia. where I used to live at in the state of West Virginia. Well, the state of West Virginia, there's no real police officers there either. I would have to think believe there's other states the same way, and I would have to think believe New York, the state of New York could be one of them. And I'd have to think believe the District of Columbia, there's no real police officers there, and it's something I haven't, there could be, I don't know if there's any federal prison still in operation here or not, but they could have bribed all the federal prison workers to quit their jobs, the wardens and prison guards, and put gang criminals in there to try to murder the inmates or rape them or starve them to death or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know if the federal prisons are still in operation or not, but that would be something that needs to be checked or searched. And here in the state of Indiana, that state prison, there's no real police officers here. And wherever there's nursing homes, where there's no real police officers, they should probably be checked too to make sure who's working in there, because those gang criminals could have bribed whoever the real nursing home workers to quit their jobs, and the elderly people could be less apt to be able, or less, able to defend themselves, and especially where there's no real 9/11s, where there's no real police officers there, they could be, less able to have someone else defend them, real police officers, real 9/11s, and they probably don't have firearms inside of those nursing homes. So, I mean, unless they got real security guards there guarding the place. So, I mean, that's another thing. And to declare military action against those criminal gangs, and against Obama's gang, Mary Stanley's gang, Mike Pence's gang, probably Donald Trump's gang, which are 6'9" gang criminals, Hispanics, Latinos, divorcing, bisexual gang criminals, and then there's some Russians there, Putin, and all the rest of those Russians there. To declare military action against certain gangs and any other gangs that are like those gangs, those criminal gangs, and to try to get control of this country, what's been out of control for quite some time. It's all about it's all about the legal name and stuff for those people. It's about some of the laws there, and they want to bribe everyone to quit their jobs, and then they want to go there and be fake military workers, fake FBI agents, etc. So, I mean, I'm going to believe that some of these fake police officers, fake FBI agents, fake U.S. military workers need to be arrested. And one place that I would like to go to sometime, once I got enough Army workers, enough weapons, is to go there and seize West Point in the state of New York, and to seize that place. And so I like to start with I'll need about 10 Jeeps or more with machine guns on top of them, and about 10 or more trucks, some armor-plated box trucks to haul the money back to the state of Indiana, and 2 or more fuel trucks to haul diesel fuel to fill up the Jeeps and trucks on the mission to the state of New York and back to seize the Federal Reserve Bank and seize all the money in it. And I don't know what will happen there, and I'd like to have rockets and enough machine guns, and that's why I said 10 or more, because if I had 4 Army workers in each Jeep, 10 big machine guns on 100 caliber bigger machine guns, that we would, have some weapons to try to, shoot back. There'd be more than one person there, plus 12 trucks, and at least two people in each one of those trucks. That'd be 24. So, I mean, that would be maybe three people in each one of those trucks, or it could be 3 in each truck. So, I mean, it could be up to about 74 people, almost 75 people. So we would have something to shoot back if those gang criminals attacked us with machine guns or whatever weaponry that they might have. We would have something to fire back at them. To seize the Federal Reserve Bank, however we would go about seizing that, to order those gang criminals to get out of there, or whether there would be a real shootout there. So, or whatever would happen there. So, my idea is to start up a federal government independent army in St. Louis, Washington, D.C., whatever happened there. For me, however those gang criminals are, one thing about I'll get a federal government independent army started, I'll find out how they are, here, there, wherever, and that includes us, and that includes up there. I'll figure some have to be shot and killed. A lot of fake police officers, and I probably have to shoot and kill some of those. Shoot at the fake police cars, 100 caliber machine guns, or a 308 rifle, a 308 machine gun, or 50 caliber. Let's shoot the rockets at them. So my idea is to start up. I'm seeking investors. I need some help. I would appreciate anyone's support. I would be very thankful to get anyone to help support me and to help me in the form of money. I set up to 25 million. That's why I set up to 25 million, because I like to have 10 or more Jeeps and enough trucks, make sure I got enough trucks to haul the money away, because there could be trillions or quadrillions of dollars in there, and to haul that money back to the state of Indiana. And then I know for sure I'd have enough money to expand the Army base, to hire more workers and get more weapons. And one type of weapon is fighter jets and big bomber jets, etc. And to buy more Jeeps and to hire 100,000 or more federal government independent Army workers. And here in the state of Indiana, expand Army base here, but there could be other places to expand it too if people want to have Army bases in other states. And to seize all the former U.S. military bases too, because there's a lot of weapons there. Same places, some Air Force bases where there's a lot of fighter jets and big bomber jets. To seize those too, to make sure those gang criminals don't use those weapons to try to attack us, to try to attack whoever. And I'm also of the belief that Mary Stanley's gang or Obama's gang stole money from the federal government accounts and laundered it to some gang criminals in Germany, or bribed them to buy some Army tanks, some military tanks over there. So whatever's going on in Germany, and I don't know, because there's so much fake news, so much fraudulent news on the internet and TV. It's hard to know. So I mean, whatever's going on with Germany, I don't know for sure, but that's another reason why a person needs those. That the federal government independent Army would need those fighter jets. Get in war with some other country to do airstrikes to try to take out some of their Army tanks, if that's the case. The fighter jets to drop bombs and missiles on their fighter jets to clear a path for the ground troops. If that's the case, I don't know if that will be the case now, because I don't know what's going on in Germany. If the federal government independent Army would ever get in a war with Germany or not, I said I personally don't know for sure at this time, because I don't know what's going on there. But I'm of the belief that Mary Stanley's gang and Obama's gang has aided some gang criminals in the country of Germany, and I don't doubt that they could have bribed all the government workers, whatever real military workers they had there, real police officers, to quit their jobs there. So that's something that I don't know for sure at this time about Germany or any other country for that matter. But there's a lot of work to do here in this country with declaring a military action against those gangs. Mary Stanley's gang, Obama's gang, Mike Pence's gang, and Donald Trump's gang. 4 gangs. And a lot of them are Hispanics and Latinos, or what I call devil-worshipping bisexual gang criminals. They're various sexualities, bisexuals, homosexuals, transsexuals, whatever, transvestites. Those are all those various sexualities. So I'm seeking money from investors, or a gift or gifts. I'm not a 501c3, so would not be no tax deduction, but a chance to get a real federal government, real federal government legal independent Army that are not criminals. Because I would not hire anyone if they were criminals. I'm not a racist, but it'd be mostly white people, because there's been a ton of trouble and problems with that associated with that race, Hispanics, Latinos, specifically those kind of Hispanics, Latinos. So I mean, to hire some 100,000 or more after that. So the federal government independent Army got enough money to hire those people, to hire more federal government independent Army workers, and to buy more weapons, fighter jets, big bomber jets, etc. Get some Army tanks, more Jeeps, and etc. And whether any other states here in this country want any Army bases there, I don't know for sure, but expand it here for sure in the state of Indiana. So however people think that they want to be part of the federal government independent Army, some sort of estimate of how many people want to go to work. I estimate $700 to $1,400 per day, but it could be $1,000 to $2,000 per day, and there could be sign-on bonuses there too. So I mean, so that's for sure that. Anyways, I'm seeking investors in the form of if they invested money, they probably want a 1,000 or more percent return on their investment. I would have to believe that would be the case. If they invest in my idea, that would be 1,000% or more. So invested $25 million, they'd want about $275 million back. So, but if they give a gift or gifts, then they won't get anything back, and they won't get no tax deduction either because I'm not a 501c3. But they get a chance to get a real federal government, legal federal government independent army, and 2 legal federal government independent army banks. They would get that, and they get a real defense system, especially once more money is seized from the Federal Reserve Bank in New York City and hauled back to the federal army, hauled back to the state of Indiana. Then there could be trillions of dollars to expand the federal government independent army base right here in the state of Indiana, for one thing. Get those fighter jets and big bomber jets, the aircraft I was talking about, to get that for sure, and to get some army tanks and more army jeeps and trucks, and to hire more army workers, rockets, missiles, bombs, etc., and the helicopters, laser-guided missiles and machine guns on them, get more rifles, pistols, machine guns, etc., and hire more army workers, expand the army bases. Any help would be greatly appreciated. I'd appreciate the support and help. If anyone help me get this idea going and get this idea started, that would be great. Investors to invest money, or to give a gift or gifts to help me get this started, that would be great. So I know, because some people are paying taxes. I mean, people are paying taxes to the federal government. I know a lot of people's legal rights are being violated here in the United States, and by those gang criminals. It could be, whatever relating to federal government stuff, whether it be, the right to 9/11 or to call 9/11, the right to have a defense system here when they don't have a real defense system here, when there's no real military here. So, I mean, and that's another reason why I want to start up an a federal government army to defend against. And to get some more to get some ships in addition to those jet planes, to get some bigger ships and smaller ships to put on the southeast coast, down by Florida, and then the west coast, by the state of California, to put about 200 ships out in California and about 200 ships in Florida, 200 bigger ships, 200 smaller ships. Hire some workers there. So. And expand out in any other states where they would want something like that, where they'd want an army, and have they know about come to some sort of estimate or conclusion on how many federal government independent army workers that they want, and or that they believe that they would be working there, and then come to an estimate how big, how many weapons, how many army tanks, how many jet planes, whatever, how many jeeps, trucks, etc., to put there in that state to expand the federal government independent army base, and how much to pay the army workers. That could be $700 to $1,400 per day. I've said that number before, but maybe $1,000 to $2,000 per day would be better. How much they ever spend on food each per day, $100 to $200 per day, and any help would be greatly appreciated. Help me get this idea started. To get a real federal government, legal federal government independent army started. I'm seeking money from investors, or a gift, or gifts. I need up to $25 million more to get it started. So any help will be greatly appreciated. I would appreciate your support, ideas. Any help. It'd be great to talk to some lawyers that know about, that legal stuff, on how to get those legal names, get the legal things going on that stuff, and estimate the cost of that. Another thing is insurance, and how much insurance costs, and to estimate some of those costs. Help me estimate some of those costs. That'd be great. How much ever some lawyers would charge. Any help be greatly appreciated. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye.